Hello everybody, it's Red here back at Red Tone Studio. Today I've got a brand new mic that I'm going to be shooting out. This one again is from Fifine. This is the Tank 2. I've already reviewed the Tank 3 and the Tank 1 for Fifine, so this kind of rounds out their portfolio, I guess. They're really going for podcasting mics. I've never seen podcasters use this kind of dynamic mic. It's more of a handheld form factor. So that's why I have the Shure SM58 up here on the desk. So we're going to be shooting it out between these two, and we'll see how they sound. Right now we can kind of go back and forth between the two, so I'll be putting the names of the mic on the screen. So this Fifine Tank number 2 has a few more bells and whistles than the SM58 from Shure. It does come with the stand in the box, comes with a windscreen, and a USB cable. So this is kind of what sets it apart. Also, it does have an on and off switch, which this version of the SM58 does not. But with the USB cable, you can also run it as an interface. So you don't need a separate interface. It hooks right up to your computer so that you can record on the fly. So that makes it really nice. Also, there's a small jack in the bottom, so you can put your headphones in and monitor that if that's what you're into with your podcast. Now, I don't really do podcasts. I do YouTube videos, so hit the like and subscribe down below. And I also run a recording studio. So I'm going to be kind of going through some of the recording studio stuff, maybe a little live sound, so you can kind of understand how this stacks up against the SM58. So let's dive on into it. So first, for the talking test, I have them both set up roughly in the same spot. I'm going to move everything else out of the way. I'm going to move them as close as I can. There we go. Now, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. So, what did you think about that? Let me know down in the comments. Now let's go to self noise. I have both of these running through my QU16 mixer into channels with no processing. Both of those channels are set to the same gain setting. So I'm going to be really quiet for a second. I've got my air conditioner running way in the back in the separate room. Let's see how they do for self noise. Yeah, let me know what you think. So now we're going to try some vocals, a little bit of singing. You're the kind of trouble I want, and you're the kind of trouble I crave. The love you gave to me, baby, will put me in the grave. You're the kind of trouble I want, and you're the kind of trouble I crave. The love you gave to me, baby, will put me in the grave. You're the kind of trouble I want, and you're the kind of trouble I crave. The love you gave to me, baby, will put me in the grave. And also now, as I'm recording this, I can see that the Fifine Tank 2 has a little bit more output than the Shure SM58. We'll see how that sounds. I'll try to get them as close as I can in post, though, going forward. Now, I really usually would not use an SM58 on an acoustic guitar, but since I've got one sitting over here, let's have a listen and see how it sounds. All right, how'd that sound? About the same? Different? Let me know in the comments. Now, I've also got a guitar amp sitting over here, so let's put those up, see how that sounds. Alright, here I am back again. I've listened to all of those test tracks. I am set up here now, and I am recording off the USB into my computer directly. So no audio interface here needed. It is very hot. It records at a much higher level. It was a little bit finicky getting set up, but it worked all right. I think I had a little problem with my headphones. The jack went in and out a couple times, and then it started working. I couldn't quite get it going right away, but other than that, it worked out fine. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it comes in a nice little box. So, Tank 2, Tank Fifine. Monitor control volume, which is on the bottom, and that does work. It's a very, very little switch, hard to find. A quick mute button, which is just the on and off switch. Full metal construction. It is fairly heavy. It does feel pretty substantial. Yeah, Type-C, XLR, so you can use it both ways. Here in my recording studio, I would use it XLR for sure. Cardioid pattern, so it doesn't pick up a lot of the room. I think you can kind of hear that as I was talking. Real-time monitoring. It does sound nice. That is kind of nice. If you're doing a podcast and you like to wear the headphones, hear yourself speak, yeah, I like it. 3.5 millimeter jack is what I've got going in there for my headphones. Yeah, overall, pretty nice. We'll just throw that over there. Anyways, back to the sound recordings. Starting with the electric guitar, really, that was so loud, you really couldn't hear anything. You could see that when I was recording, I did have the Fifine mic a little bit farther away from the grill. That was just because it was clipping so hard when I first plugged it in. So it was quicker just to move it back. Acoustic guitar and singing, he definitely has a very mid boost here in the Fifine Tank 2 compared to the SM58. I prefer the SM58. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. But overall, it comes in a nice package. I got the stand, came with it, mic clip. It is a bit of a beefy boy, so you do need a special mic clip probably for this one. And then it comes with the cable like you saw. So overall, I think it's a pretty good value. I'm not sure what they're pricing these at quite right now, but we'll put it up on screen maybe. And then you can kind of see if you think it's worth it or not. I think it was $60. I don't know. You'll see if it's worth it compared to 100 and I think these are 120 now, the SM58s. Jeez. But yeah, let me know what you think. Make sure you like, subscribe. See me in the next one. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.